Does that look crooked?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Are you the right person to ask for that?
I don't have my glasses on.
Oh man. You gotta come over a little bit. Ah. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic.
No, it's not.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up? I need some energy from you. All right, Hang with the Jones, episode number 44. I'm Rashad.
I'm Kesha.
And of course, appreciate you guys for sharing, and subscribing on the things. Definitely appreciate you guys. Trying to get to 500 by the end of the month. So if you are watching or listening and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's the right thing to do. It's a good move. Anyway, just wanted to talk about just kind of just update us real quick. I feel like we haven't had just a kind of a sit down talk about how we're doing type of episode in a while. So how's life, Shakisha?
I'm good. Life has been pretty good. How about with you, Rashad?
You sounded real insincere when you asked that. How about you, Rashad?
Rashad?
I'm all right. I mean, life's good. I can't complain. I'm about to go back into the building tomorrow. Not happy about that. But
Mm-hmm. Would you think about any feelings or thoughts about going back in the building? Being he was working from home.
Yeah, I'm about to be back in.
So he had to go back into
home.
the place.
So my place of employment. Kind of mixed feelings about that. The COVID is still out here in these streets, and I don't know. I just got real used to being at home, and just kind of found a new routine. And I feel like I've been striving in this routine for the most part. So now I have to make sure that I proactively get back on that old schedule, and it's gonna be difficult. And the part of that I don't like is I'm like very change averse. I don't really like change a whole lot. If something's going well, then I'm like, why are we trying to switch this up? So I have to go in there and really be super optimistic and positive about it, and that's gonna be the hard part.
Yeah, cause even just think about, I didn't really think about that this week would be the week you have to go back in school. So even just working out the dynamics at home, like one, am I still gonna have lunch? Because I don't do any cooking. So I'm like, wait, hold on, what are we gonna eat now? And then two, just I really, really have to do the home thing by myself with 3 children. Yeah, so this is another dynamic instead of doing maybe the 1 day a week, having doing like this is the normal.
Every day.
Yeah. The good thing about it, it's not that long. No, the end of the school year is about here approaching. We don't have much longer for the end of the school year, so it won't be that much longer.
No, that's optimistic approach to it.
Yeah. And then I know 2 days, gotta take our daughter into school, and trying to arrange that, like, oh, what time to pick her up? Because there is no really time to pick her up. So yeah, I don't. It's things opening back up, and I'm not sure if I'm really ready for them to open.
Why?
Because I'm not sure we have a handle on this COVID. The reason why everything was closing down. I'm not sure. I don't think there has been any really numbers saying that things are like drastically decreasing. We still trying to pass a COVID relief fund.
That passed.
I know. But I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say.
But we going in and open up, like, you know what I mean? It's like it's not equivalent.
Yeah, it's definitely some. It's just some overall disconnects, and I wish those things would kind of align, especially when it comes to information and just people in general, and just the overall attitude of how it's gonna look. You know, because a lot of those things, and yeah, I don't want to get deep into the weeds about politics at school, but you know, if you know, you know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh God, yo, not the Forrest
Forrest Gump,
Gump.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I actually was talking to my therapist about it yesterday. I was like, yo, like I ain't trying to do this.
Does
Not
it cause an increase in stress?
no. I'm not any more less stressed. I I am I'm just annoyed that I have to do it. If that makes sense. Not really stressed about it because I mean it is what it is. But the fact that this has to be a thing is very annoying to me.
I am interested in how, well, maybe you can tell me how they're going to do a live class and virtual class. Because my children, we're not go. I'm not letting them go back. They're going to strictly still 100% home. I'm not doing the hybrid. Let's keep it this way.
Yeah, well, they give us some options. For us, it's like you can either, because we're going back to have like a 90-minute class. So what they can do is you can teach like this have 45 minutes online and 45 minutes to the students in class. You can do it together. And there's this other option. I don't even remember what it is. But yeah, they're giving us some options of how we can go about it.
So which one are you going to do it?
Together.
Okay.
I refuse to teach the
Straight
same
90
thing.
minutes.
No, not even that. But I'm not gonna teach the same class 10 times. The same lesson 10 times. That would be exhausting, and also very boring. At around that's fifth, sixth time. Like yo, like I gotta teach this thing
So
again.
how you coordinated being live and in person?
I don't know. Haven't done it yet. So I have an idea of how I can do it. I just had to basically have like my laptop situated so where they can see me. I'm gonna basically still have my AirPods in connected to my computer so I can move around if I have to, and then just do what I gotta do.
You know how many children are going to be in class so far?
Not a lot. It's way more people gonna be home.
Good.
As a matter of fact, the last time they did it, more people were choosing to be at home than in
Good.
school than the first time around. So
maybe those few that everybody go home, so then you had to go in.
I love your wishful thinking, but I don't. Nah, especially okay. So we're in VA, and in the February, a governor basically said like y'all gotta have a plan to put kids back in school. So the thing was, I need to have a plan by basically the 15th of March. A lot of districts took that as y'all have to have kids in school by the 15th of March. When the reality of it is, we have to have kids in a plan, have kids in school by July 1st. So basically, when the new school calendar year starts, you're gonna have to have kids in school, and people just really, I don't know, they got scared. I guess they thought their state was gonna pull their funding if they didn't do it or whatever. Because it's a very real thing. Because if you public school and if you don't listen to what state legislation says, then they will snatch your funds. So a lot of them, I think a lot of everybody jumped the gun, and now basically we're gonna have a hybridized schedule.
Because even part of it is like, okay, if they thinking the numbers going to go down, even though they think March is going to be a hot month and numbers going to really really increase. But then I'm like, even the kids going back to school, none of them will take the COVID test. None of them will get the vaccination. Not test. None of them get vaccinated because children aren't approved for the vaccination. So it's not even. It's still a risk.
Yeah, that's the thing that's very befuddling to me. I'm like, you have a population of people who, of course, cannot get vaccinated. Then you have some people, and then a lot of the people who are at risk already are staying at home. So a lot of older people. I mean, I know from like for where I am, is a lot of people just going to be are already not even coming to the building once a week. So some of them, a lot of them going to be at home, but there's going to be people who can't do that, and they're going to be basically, you know, at risk still. I mean, shoot, even me, as safe as I am, I'm still going to be at risk because I'm in the environment. So it's just a very precarious situation.
Are you gonna wear your mask and
Yeah, I have
the
to.
whole time?
I have to. I don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically like now I'm be teaching with a mask on, which is like very weird.
and being virtual with the mask off? I mean, mask on as well. Yeah. So, how many children do you estimate would be in class?
I don't know. I forgot. I had some numbers.
No, wasn't 10?
Probably.
Okay, so you can really social spread them out.
Yeah.
They can be social distance. Now, I wonder how lunch and stuff is going to be done.
I don't know. I mean, and it really depends on how many kids is in the building, you know. And those are some of the logistics that I don't really have to be concerned with because I'm not admin. But looking at it, it has to be a way to keep. Let's just say we have 100 students, right, in the building, and lunchtime we have like this full lunch at 25 lunches. You can kind of spread 25 people out in a lunchroom. But let's say we got 500 students. It's gonna be harder to spread out 125 students in a lunchroom. You know, so those are some of the things that I really hope that they're considering. And it's not like we live in the same household and we can all sit down in fours because, you know, we all know each other. Basically, you have to allot for everybody being 6 feet apart. So I don't know.
Interesting. Let's see how next week turn out. And the next week's SOLs. So even seeing how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Is I don't know. I'm just kind of like I'm hoping that they're able to social distance, make sure to mind themselves, wash your hands, wipe down everything, and still be able to concentrate and pass the test.
Yeah, it's a lot, y'all. And
then focus. Remember, these some kids who've been, well, not some, all of them been out. Then be able to adjust to being around people and taking the test from people.
And then SOL is always a very restricted lockdown environment anyway. So it's just it's very, very inopportune. And even the fact that we still have to take these high stake testing in this environment right now is very
I don't think they thought about the psychological factor coming.
No,
these
they
kids
did.
In.
They did. They just
just didn't care. Okay,
gotta take the test.
Think just kids going in. One, being scared of COVID, and this is a whole real thing, and then being around people.
Yeah.
Then wanting to take an important test around being around the distractions again. Being able just to kind of like, I kind of almost wish they had like a pre-test thing where they come in and kind of get used to being in school again.
Yeah.
Then just become like, here's an important test. Yes, it's COVID. You want to social distance once you do all this and pass the test.
I mean, yeah.
You know, I think for mental health, and I'm curious on how their numbers going to look.
Yeah. So let's kind of dig into that. So, what do you mean by like the mental health aspects of it?
Because now you have children who've been at home a whole year. So last times it's just them and their family or just by themselves. Now you bring them into an environment where it's how many children? That alone is a shift. Because now I got to get used to being around people when I was able to maintain, while I was alone or just with my family. Second, even though we had this virtual class, it's not the same as in person because the time length hasn't been the same. So now I wonder what you taught, was that really preparing for them to take this SOL? Because the time frames when we did the virtual is how long?
Essentially kind of half.
Right. So, but then you still want them to put out the same results and take this test, but they will only half prepared for it. Then you got this about the actual quarantine. There are kids out there who are afraid to go out. So they're afraid to go out, afraid to be around people, but you're gonna, and taking a test can be already frightful for some people. And these are grades that determine, what degree you get.
Yeah, definitely determines your diploma.
Right. And you're gonna put all these factors out there and say, pass this test and do well. It's like, I'm really curious how those numbers gonna turn out.
Yeah, me too.
I think, and I don't know if this is even so, I wish they had something where, one, they could have did the test at home, had the test canceled, or even like when you take your license test, you go to a certain place and you have a certain, I wish they kind of had something like that, where you can be separated, but you know what I mean? It's more safe and controlled environment instead of having all these kids come in at one time to take the exam.
Yeah.
So I wish it was just done differently. I don't think psychologically this is really good coming in. The first time that these kids are seeing each other. And then some of them been having Facebook beef and social media beef.
You said Facebook, like the kids is on Facebook.
Social media, whatever, TikTok, over the phone, over whatever. And now they coming into school to handle some of these things during test day because it's the only time they get to see each other. So, and you just don't have the kids gather. Now, what do you think children are going to do? They haven't seen each other for a while. What do you think the first thing they're going to do? They're going to run and find their friends.
Very true.
So I'm like, that's just not really. And then also, you don't really have a time because it's a certain time the test's going to end. That doesn't mean that your child is going to finish at that time. So where are they going to go? You saying you want them to linger, but what happens if they finish earlier? Where are they going to go? They're going to have to, because even the buses, even they did take a bus, the bus comes at a certain time. So they would still have to linger around.
Yeah.
So I just can't see them really be able to control. Like, you stay on that corner, spread your arms out, make sure that sits for you. I just don't see that's realistic. And I don't think all that was really thought out. It was just, we're going to do a thing to make our numbers look great. And I'm really, really interested in those numbers.
Yeah, I even just the logistics of being in school on like a regular day, like I don't even know what that's even gonna look like. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of variables that haven't been changed. There's very few constants. A lot of variables in this proverbial equation.
And I'm saying this is not Rashad. I mean, I wonder if those numbers gonna be fudged. I really wonder if those numbers going to be kind of fudged some kind of way. Because it looks bad happening again where most of the schools have a low SOL rating. Like, when was that year ago where almost all the school system was like barely making or not making it at all? Except for Suffolk.
I don't know.
No. So I just kind of part of me is like, are you going to try to fudge this? Or do you want it to be low to prove a point? I'm just not trusting of it. It doesn't quite make sense to me.
All right. Oh, man. It's been a pretty sad episode. We're going to stop right here.
So let's see how next week go when he's going back into the office.
Oh, man.
After the quarantine.
Yeah, we'll see. I know. I'm about to say, and shoot, next week episode is actually going to be our COVID anniversary. So, got more COVID talk next week.
Oh, woohoo.
Yeah, talking about just, how it's been for the entire time. But yeah, this definitely what's going on right now is us kind of in the nation overall trying its damnedest to get back to normal. And I feel like we're doing this kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I think it's too much of a jump. I think it should be kind of gradual.
Yeah, but
like
that's your method to life.
But think about it. Even with the society, it's gradual. It was gradual. We're still not 100%. Everyone can't come in, but it's like the schools are like, all right, go ahead, 100%. You know what I mean? It's not gradual. They just throwing everyone in. Because the choice was like, because they gave the choice like to take the SOLs. SOLs for people who are not local. It's like your standardized test. In New York, we used to call them regents. But it's just your standardized test.
Yeah.
Which determines if they do well, determines that they get funding and accreditation. But
it's one of the components.
Yeah. But I was saying that I forgot.
I don't know.
Oh, the way they turned like SOL, they gave this paper was like, if you want your child to take the SOLs, check yes. If you don't, you can check no. But remember, this is mandatory. Like it was in parentheses. Remember, this is mandatory. So it's kind of like it was no option.
Take the test or don't take the test.
Right, but then if you have a child like us who's almost close to her senior year, take
the test.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, the ones who are seniors, like, there is no makeup. So there's no choice. And then having parentheses, like, remember, this is mandatory. There was no options. If I said no, like, what's the option?
You just be delaying the inevitable.
Or like before, can you opt out of the exam?
Yeah, they ain't doing that this year. Ain't no opt out. That was last year, and they say
no. Even before that, no. Even before that, there was, I know was talking about that a lot of times kids can opt out standardized testing. However, the school, it was even news, the school doesn't advertise it because it can affect their accreditation, their funding. So now I'm just thinking that you actually could say they don't recommend it because it impacts them, but you could opt out of it and you can't. So they have to go by your grades.
Yeah, but and even in that, like, knowing them, they still probably try to mess around and not give you a
I have a feeling it's gonna be something. Yeah,
you mess around and get like an applied diploma or something like that. Mm-hmm. It won't even be like a standard, like a regular diploma. Mm-hmm. Like you can't even, how it is like if you like a like a special ed, some special ed students who have like a
diploma of attendance.
Basically.
Yeah, but I think I have known some people, if I'm correctly, that did it and went through. But however, that's not in the state of Virginia. I don't know about the state of Virginia.
Nah, yeah, it don't work like that.
But I know there is an option because remember we was exploring this years ago. Not years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
It was years ago.
It was years ago. We was talking about that opting out.
Yeah, but
I'm just not for standardized testing.
Yeah, I mean, high stakes testing is basically a way for people to make money on so many levels. But that's it. All right, guys. Alrighty. I hope you have an awesome week. I hope that while we're dancing, I hope that you like, share, subscribe, all the good things, all the good stuff, man. WandaVision, final episode review we did, me and Dez. Great show. Kids got something to say, probably drop next week sometime. And I will see you next Monday.
Deuces. Peace.